Okay, let's unpack this. You've probably seen the headlines, right? Elon Musk, Senate testimony, this huge bill.
Right. But the surprising thing, there's actually no public record of him testifying.
Exactly. What we're seeing instead is, well, it's a high-stakes social media war, Musk versus the second Trump administration.
Uh-huh. And it's all centered on what Trump calls the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
And what makes this so striking is that Musk wasn't always an outsider here. Not long ago, he was the insider.
Right, heading up that Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
DOGE, exactly. Highly ambitious, very controversial. So our deep dive today, it's really about this. This collision. Immense private power smashing against American governance.
Especially when that power, turns against the state it was just inside.
Precisely.
Okay, so this big, beautiful bill, what exactly is it? We know it's big, nearly 1,000 pages.
Yeah, it's a reconciliation bill, that special kind of budget legislation.
Yeah.
Fast-tracked, avoids the filibuster usually.
And it's really the centerpiece of Trump's second-term domestic plans.
It is. On the money side, the big thing is making those 2017 tax cuts permanent.
Which is a lot of money.
Oh yeah, we're talking estimates of maybe $3.8 trillion just in tax cuts. Analysts think it could add over $4 trillion to the debt.
Wow. And how do they pay for that? Or try to?
Well, huge spending cuts are proposed like $930 billion from Medicaid.
$930 billion? Shh.
Yep. And groups like the American Hospital Association are warning it could, quote, devastate rural hospitals.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, right? The connection to Musk.
Mm-hmm.
The bill drastically cuts subsidies for things like wind and solar, clean power.
Yeah.
And slashes EV tax credit.
Or eliminates them entirely, and then it flips script.
How so?
It actually puts in new incentives for coal, for oil exploration.
So a direct hit on Tesla, on everything Musk calls the industries of the future.
Absolutely. It's almost ideological, and that seems to be what really sparked his very public opposition.
And it has been public, ferocious even. What's he been saying on X?
Oh, things like, the bill will destroy millions of jobs. He called it utterly insane and destructive.
And didn't he threaten lawmakers?
He did. Threatened to, use his influence to fire lawmakers who betrayed the American people. Strong words.
That kind of rhetoric isn't totally new for him, but this feud with Trump himself seems deeper, more personal this time.
It really escalated. I mean, Musk even suggested, with no evidence, mind you, that Trump was mentioned in those Jeffrey Epstein files.
Whoa. Okay, that definitely crosses the line.
Yeah, that shattered what people were calling a fragile truce between them. Completely broken.
And the politics of this are just fascinating. Musk is fighting the bill, and his arguments, they sound just like the American Clean Power Association.
Exactly. And even more strange, he's basically aligned, tactically at least, with Senate Democrats trying to block the bill.
It just shows how self-interest can make for some really, really odd political bedfellows, doesn't it?
It really does. A perfect example.
So backing up a bit, how did Musk get so deeply inside the administration to begin with, this DOGE department?
Right, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. It apparently came out of talks with Trump, envisioned as a kind of Manhattan Project for government.
A Manhattan Project, meaning secret, intense.
Secret, intense, massive resources, aiming for radical change, fast. It wasn't just advice, it was operational.
Operational how?
Well, the reporting suggests it was designed for a, quote, hostile takeover of the federal government. Identify waste, dissolve things, reshape bureaucracy.
How would they even do that?
By placing loyal people in key spots. Think OPM, the Personnel Office, or GSA, government property, that gave them access.
Access to sensitive data.
Pervasive access, yeah, which understandably raised huge concerns. Unelected shadow government, potential security risks.
And yet attempts to get him to testify about DOGE failed.
Twice, yeah. House Democrats tried subpoenas, but they failed on party line votes, so no real public accountability there.
Wow. Okay, so what does this whole saga mean for you listening?
Well, I think it really highlights this tension, right? When you have enormous private power boosted by a global platform like X, and that power goes from being inside the government to suddenly fighting against it. It shows how tech figures can wield political force in ways we haven't really seen before.
It really raises a huge question for all of us, doesn't it? It's this critical case study on influence, on oversight or the lack of it, and just how vulnerable government can be today.
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, I mean, this whole thing sets a kind of new precedent.
How so?
Musk has shown this incredible ability to, build bridges deep inside the state and then just as quickly burn them down and attack from the outside. It forces us to rethink checks and balances.
So here's the provocative thought for you to mull over. When you have powerful figures who see government almost like a machine to be hacked, what kind of guardrails, legislative or even constitutional, do we actually need? And how can democratic oversight possibly keep